Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time for Shawn. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And I am paused at the beginning here. Shawn wanted me to do a commentary on the Iron Claw. I like to be pretty much any type of videos, reviews, re-reviews, video game playthroughs, let's tries, whatever the case. Let's get right into it. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Thanks once again, Shawn. Sorry for the lateness, but it's been pretty crazy with Hurricane Barrel and all that, which I don't know, by the time you upload this, I don't even know if I've talked about that yet, or doing a live. That's a whole that's a whole thing. But anyway, to the Iron Claw, 23 seconds in. Released by A24, which usually I do not like the product they release, but I did enjoy this one. I did. Now, if you look a bit more into it, it's very inaccurate in its history. For I understand, there's a lot of things in here that if you know the real story about the Von Erichs, they very much changed. I mean, they deleted a brother, which I thought was a mistake. I mean, if it's about family, you don't delete one of the brothers. Some people have said it probably would have been better as a miniseries, or like an episodic show. You know, you have like Stranger Things. What is that, Jeffrey Dahmer show? Yeah, maybe that's what it should have been. It should have been like a Netflix show that was like 5 or so episodes long. But I did enjoy this. I did enjoy it as a film. I did enjoy as a piece of filmmaking. And yeah, I was very much impressed by it. But like I said, far, far from a documentary. But I thought it had some really good acting, nice usage of music. Zac Efron, I thought, did a solid job. I'm not an expert on the Von Erichs, so I can't tell you the difference between fact and fiction. But yeah, the Von Erichs, I did hear the general basis, where it was such a tragic story, where one brother died. Some said it was drugs, others say it was, some that was stomach, I forget. Multiple brothers ended their own lives, and there's only one brother left. And the line at the end just kills me, which is a line he did say similar in reality, where I used to be a brother. I mean, come on. Like, you have, what? In the movie, he has 3 brothers, but I think in reality he had 4 brothers? I can't remember the details. Yeah, I want to say there's 3 brothers in this, because there's one who went to the WWF, who was Texas Tornado for a short time. There was the well, I mean, whatever. Interesting is Shawn Black and White, of course, to show a bit more of the past. Yeah, Terry Von Erich, Kevin Von Erich, the dad Fritz Von Erich, and his finishing move, the Iron Claw. Again, A24, I know they don't personally make the films, but a lot of times their taste and what they want to release doesn't usually hone in with my taste. Because I'm not a fan of Hereditary, I'm not a fan of Midsommar or The Witch or The Killing of a Sacred Deer. But once in a while, Uncut Gems I liked, The Disaster Artist I liked, Everything Ever All at Once I think was A24. I liked that. I did like this film, so every once in a while. So you have Kevin Von Erich, played by Zac Efron. You got Terry Von Erich, played by Jeremy. You got David Von Erich, played by Harris. Okay, so there were four in this. And Stanley Simmons as Mike Von Erich. So Mike, David, Terry, and Kevin. So there were four. Again, I think there was a fifth one that they took out. Tris Von Erich. It was one more tragedy that the film could not really withstand. So yeah, there were five brothers, and four of them died. In the movie, there's four brothers, and three of them died. Now, the guy who's the dad, Holt McElhaney, who plays Fritz Von Erich, I do like him as an actor. I thought he did a really good job. And he's been in a lot of stuff. In fact, is he the guy? I want to double check. The guy who plays Fritz Von Erich in this movie, the dad, if you ever seen Creep Show 2, remember the guy in the Chief Woodenhead story that's like, this hair's gonna get me paid and laid? That's Holt McElhaney. That's the guy. He was in Casualties of War, Fight Club, Three Teens. Bad things kept happening. Yeah, I think Zac Efron, he got in insane shape for this movie. You had some wrestling here. (1979) Sportatorium, Dallas, Texas. I just like the way it's filmed, and the lighting in particular. I like the lighting in this. There's like a warmth of lighting. And like back in the day, the crowds, it was more darker, so all the lights are sort of more on the center of the ring. Nowadays it's lit so you can see everybody, but back then it gave it a nice, more of an atmosphere. Look how shredded Zac Efron is. Damn, man. Shredded as hell. Yeah, the Von Erichs were beloved in this era in Texas. Beloved. They were the princes. I mean, they were classified as royalty to a point. Of course, I think some people said some of their sons got more work than they should because of their dad, but at the same time, they seem to have some talent. Nice crossbody, and gets the win at 3. There you go. Texas heavyweight champion. I'm sure someone that is exceptional in the history of the Von Erers, they maybe they lose their mind in this and how inaccurate it is. The thing is that there's so much story to tell. It's hard to break this down to a little over 2 hours. Again, that's why some people would think, and I can agree with this too, is that if maybe this was like in a 5 episode show, it would have worked better. But again, I did rather enjoy it. So now the father is pressuring the youngest son on what he should do, competing for the respect of the dad, all that stuff. You really do get a sense of the care the brothers have with each other. Even the quick dialogue, I always have your back, Mike, and all that. Again, I don't think Mike was the youngest. It was the other one that they deleted. So they should not have deleted it. I'm sorry. That's it, a story that's about family and about brotherhood. You don't delete one of the brothers. You make it seem as if he didn't matter, as if his life, his death didn't matter. Man, that is a lack of privacy if you have to do it in the shower. Wow. I need to talk to you. That's what your brothers are for. Wow. So Zach Efron sticking up for his. I know one thing. Get really mad at the parents in this movie because the dad is not one-dimensional evil. They didn't make it a cartoon, but you tell just how he's just pressuring, go into wrestling, go into family business, bulk up, do all this, just pressure. And then the mom just ignores it. Just ignores it and goes, whatever. It's their problem. It's your problem. It's the brother's problem. And the mom doesn't want to be a parent, and the dad is pressuring, and the mom just goes along with what the dad does. It's not really the best of parentage. Now I mentioned the dad. The mom is Maura Tierney. I'm like, I know I've seen her before. Primal Fear, Liar Liar. That's what it was. Liar Liar. She was Jim Carrey's ex-wife in Liar Liar. That's where I remember the most from. By the way, if you hear background noise, it's a ceiling fan. It's just with the way it is in Texas, the heat just have to be on that high. At least for if I gotta do something for over 2 hours. So that's what Mike's into. It's into the band and rock and roll. Rock and roll. I cannot believe that this film did not get nominated for a single Oscar. That just absolutely kills me. Because, hell, I mean, it's. How the hell is it that this film did not get nominated for a single Oscar? That just insane to me. And granted, who cares about the Oscars? I've said it multiple times. But these are the films nominated for Oscars. Best Picture. Oppenheimer, who won. American Fiction. Oh yeah, is this a showcase? He's not the best at promos. Yeah, it's a show that he was not the best in promos, which is very important. Some would argue the promos is more important than the match because the promos, the story is to try to get people to the ring, to the show. I mean, even if you're not don't consider him the best wrestler, or they don't do a whole lot. Like look at whether you hate or love CM Punk nowadays. CM Punk knows how to talk, and when CM Punk goes out there and he talks against Drew McIntyre or various other people, people listen, people talk about, they love him or they hate him, but he invokes an emotion because he's a great talker, he's great on the microphone, and he could make you feel whatever, something, hate or love. Stone Cold Steve Austin knew how to do a promo. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, knew how to do a promo. Yeah, he's not doing the best. The brother giving the other brother crap because he can't get through the promo. While you do it, was going to ruin the surprise. And again, nice soundtrack because of the era. Don't Fear the Reaper. Blue Oyster Cult, great song. I probably first heard that song, believe it or not, in the beginning of the miniseries The Stand. The Stephen King miniseries The Stand. That's the first I heard of that song. I've heard iterations of that song, The Frighteners, Michael J. Fox at the very end of the film, and quite a few others. Great song. But yeah, Best Picture again. Oppenheimer won. You got American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. Absolutely ridiculous. I've seen Past Lives. That is a boring as hell film that no one is going to remember. In fact, I bet people don't remember it now or never heard of it. No one's going to remember Past Lives. It's a boring as hell love story where it's two people like each other, they separate. The one woman gets married, her husband's pretty much a cuck because he's seen that his woman is fawning over this guy she knew a long time ago and he doesn't do anything, just lets it happen. I'm like, do you want to watch, you cuck? Poor Things, I mean, let's take a little baby, whatever, put into a body and sexualize it. Some sicko, weirdo, pervert's fantasy. And Barbie, get the hell out of here. No one can tell me with a straight face that Barbie is a better movie than The Iron Claw. No one with a straight face to do that. He snaps it on Gino. Gino taps out. I think this is where the other brother, Alvin will say, I know at one point the other brother shows that he's much of the better talker. Actually, was there another brother? I'm trying to remember. There were 6 Von Erich brothers. So one died before the movie starts. And in reality, there were 5. And then here there's 4. So 5 to 4, reality 6 to 5. And so imagine that 6 brothers and 5 of them died in real life. That's just insane. Sally Real is just insane. But is there a catch? Sorry, I'm not saying that. I'm just watching. Listen, I like the way that the film is lit. Again, it has this kind of warm glow to it. Maybe giving a sense of family or something to that nature. Let's see. I'm looking through the trivia. In June 2022, the film was announced to star Zac Efron, be produced and distributed by A24. Began filming in Baton Rouge, Louisiana in October 2022, lasted 6 weeks. The cast performed full-length one-take wrestling matches in front of a live audience, which was held in a furniture store that was converted to appear as the Dallas Sportatorium. Chavo Guerrero, who portrays the Sheik, also acted as the film's primary wrestling consultant. Got 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. Marshall Von Erich, Kevin's son, praised Guerrero's role as a wrestling consultant, highlighting the accuracy of the film's wrestling sequences and complimenting Zac Efron's performance. Kevin was positively highlighted Guerrero's contribution, stating he did a great job pushing the cast and then getting them ready. It's a lot more difficult than it looks, and they did so well. Von Air stated that his niece Holly, Terry's daughter, was moved when she saw Mulaney, who plays her late grandfather Fritz, on set, but believed the film inaccurately portrays Fritz as coming off pretty rank. Dave Meltzer lauded and praised the performances of the film's cast, but noted the film's plot contains several historical inaccuracies, depicted many events in incorrect chronologically. Austin Film Critics Association Award, it got number 7 for Best Films of the Year. National Board of Review, it won Top 10 Films and Best Ensemble. Zac Efron got nominated for Best Actor at the San Diego Film Critics Society. Best Ensemble. Like, it didn't even get, like, Best Film, 7th place. Best Ensemble Cast. Ensemble. Like, that's crazy. So he's with this girl, and they're having dinner. At a diner, and mentions this curse that's been told to him, and people think you don't have to believe in curses; they just have to believe in you. If they believed in you, then it don't matter jack squat what you believe in. So now he's going to get a match with Harley Race. Now it says you have to take this opportunity, but at the same time, it's up to them because it's not a real wrestling match. It's, you know. The guy they got for Harley Race is actually really good. They're actually really good. They got Harley Race. Like that one they got fairly accurate. But yeah, I don't know who the actor is, but the guy they got for Harley Race is actually rather good. And then the old title World Class Championship Wrestling. There's a documentary called The Tragedy of World Class Championship Wrestling that details a lot of the Von Erich stuff. Harley Race versus Kevin Von Erich. Just think about how wrestling was back in the day. I mean, there were a lot of people that felt it was real, felt it was all real, and people that would try to stab and cut and curse and riot if the people they liked was losing, and they think the bad guy was cheating. Nowadays, a lot of times just looked at as a joke. And then wrestling is one of those things that I liked when I was a kid. I watched a bit of WWF as a kid, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, a little bit of Ultimate Warrior. And I had some of these Coliseum home videos, the bib boxes. It was like black with WWF logo on each one. And it's like one was a Hulk Hogan, one was, I think, like WrestleMania Best of. And can't remember what the rest were. And I think my aunt would send us tapes. And then I kind of went away from it, and it was probably 1998, 99, where we had cable. Because we didn't get cable till like 97. So I was like, oh, what's going on? You hear the buzz of wrestling, so it's like, oh, here's WWF, here's WCW. And at times it'd be like WWF would do their show, then WCW would do a show and then air it again. Oh, I watched WWF and then I watched WCW. I ran a lot of stuff I don't remember from back then, except a few highlights, but. Ooh. Suplex. Right on the concrete floor. He's not breathing the best. Yeah, you're getting suplex on the damn concrete. And back then it was more of a wild, wild west because there may be people that's like will try to break your leg, break your arm, and take more shots at you, and much more of a rough and tumble way of doing stuff back then. Much more rough and tumble. I mean, hell, what was people getting stabbed in showers, and hazing would be like, let me steal all your stuff and throw it away that costs you hundreds of dollars, and let me pull you into something to strip you and tie you up. And nowadays is like, turn off your video game or switch your sneakers or something. Ooh, there we go. Knee right to Harley Race. After he got back in the ring. Ooh. Splash right into it. Ooh. Harley Race is playing dirty. He put the eye gouge and then he threw the guy right off the damn thing. Oh, he got disqualified. He was playing too dirty and too nasty. He was too afraid that Kevin would have won. There you go. His brother coming in to help out. Oh, this is where Dave is going to showcase more of the mic steals. So So you see the dad's disappointment that his son took so long to get into the ring, that his son seems like he's hurt by the suplex, and that he couldn't cut the promo too well, his brother had to do it. And that's the first thing the dad says. Not good job, great job. You put a lot of effort, work on it. It's, hey, hey, you took too long to get up. Now, did you see that he's not being this mustache twirling villain? Some mustache twirling villain or anything. It's just that you see this underlying thing to it. Like, the only thing he says to the one son is the mistake he made, which he couldn't help it. The other one was, hey, good job. And you see how Zac Efron's face just... He was helping because he didn't do anything. And here's Thierry Von Erich, which again, yeah, he's going for the Olympics. But the thing is, it was the time of the boycott. Because I think this was around the time the Soviets were going into Afghanistan or something. So the U.S. said, we're not going to go to the Olympics under protest. Because they didn't take place in the Soviet Union at that time. I thought the actor who played Thierry Von Erich did a good job. I mean, it's hard to find someone who looks exactly like someone like Thierry. I always do think it was the Texas Tornado, because I do remember seeing that era. That was on my aunt's tapes, VHS tapes. The era of like Repo Man and Berserker with the sword that almost stabbed Undertaker. Earthquake and jumped and hit Hulk Hogan on the chest. Sorry, I know I laughed. Look how times change. The freedom loving, innocent Afghanistan. You never hear that nowadays. But yeah, the president said the freedom loving, innocent Afghanistan. Again, how times change. And the dad is sad, but you pretty much know he's sad because If his son gets the recognition, then he gets the recognition. So he wants it more for himself, not for his sons. And just Terry Von Erich walking home like he's John Rambo. You think someone would have picked him up? Apparently not. So I just watched the football game here. Even though it's supposed to be a fun football game, it's gotta be a competition because of the dad. Is that praising one brother over the other, even though it's supposed to be just fun? Trust me, later on, people don't care about camera angles. Shows how little Fritz do, movie wise. Yeah, I don't know if he said that in reality, but movie version of Fritz shows how little he knew because camera angles going to be really important. And people are going to be concentrating a lot more on the production value. No featuring music. Tell it to all the bands that got successful, made millions of dollars, and didn't have to put their bodies on the line. Granted, some of them fell victim to drugs still, because of other reasons, but so the bros are supportive about the music, but of course the parents won't be, especially the dad. Yeah, the acting I would say is definitely the best part of the movie. Is the actors and the way that they work with each other. Must have been a pretty nice day when they shot this. Yeah, I think this is about what 1980. Just think about all those stuff that were not around back then that we take advantage of, or however you want to word it. So 1980, that you don't have most of the technology we have nowadays, whether it be computers, internet, readily available movies, like all that stuff, video games. So I just mention all that because think of like what you would do in your spare time, when you're off of work or you're off of school. It's like, well, maybe you go to a movie at a theater, or read a book, or go out and party, socialize. Like here, they're at their brother's gig, partying, drinking, and having fun, and there you go. Now, this song will be at the end of the film, which is a great song that you hear at the end credits, but we first hear it here. Wanna live that way forever. Wanna live that way forever. And that's a pretty good song there. Definitely showcasing the brotherhood of these characters, just them enjoying life, enjoying their youth before the tragedy comes about. Or they just seem like decent, nice people. Now, granted, there's a lot of characters to deal with, including, four brothers here. So the youngest one, you get the idea he likes music. He doesn't really want to be a wrestler. His dad isn't 100% fond of that. Terry, pretty much that he was going to be in the Olympics. He's not in the Olympics, so now he's back home. The other brother, David, he's the better talker, and he was cheering our lead character onward. But you don't get a full depth of each person, each brother, each of them. Which again, maybe that's like a one season TV show, maybe would have worked better on that front. Just check something real quick. So not much to say other than Sex in the Shadow, which sounds like a novel or something. Like a dime store novel or something you buy from some smut. Sex in the Shadow. Yeah, you pretty much get the idea that they didn't want to deal with the Von Erichs. They didn't want to deal with Kevin. They didn't think he was good enough to be a champion. So, wait, we could make money with this other guy, Ric Flair, and that'll be the guy. Which, I mean, better talker, more energy, better wrestler. Makes sense. I wouldn't wish I wouldn't wish wrestling on you, so I'm going to push you and guilt you into being a wrestler. So it's like, which is it? I don't want to push you, so let me push you. Really? So, which is it again? I don't want to push you, but I'll push you. Okay. I don't want to push you, so let me push you. Like, make up your mind then. I think this became their big theme. Yeah. So the three of them find the fabulous Freebirds. Yeah, it does seem like they did a really good job with the wrestling scenes. God, those must be insanely hard to do. Those push-ups with your legs in the air like that. The different arenas. And there you go, bit of drug problem there. But they don't show like how he got into drugs, what made him get into drugs in the first place. Not sure those are pain pills or something else. I mean, it's a fun montage, but it just again, you say it seems like we're rushing through some important details that maybe we should see, like Kerry Von Erich. How was it when he first decided to do wrestling? Also, why does it matter if you need to press deeply on the iron claw? Again, it's performance. They would have to. You just have to do this. And go ah. That's part of selling. And that's the weird thing is like they don't want to like. It's fake. I mean, it's predetermined. But it's almost as if they didn't want to go into that part either. Like they do, but they don't. So again, like the why does this have to be applied so harsh when again they it's their job to sell it. You just act like it. Like, yeah. But yeah, maybe that's the issue with the dad. Push him too hard, trying to do things that you shouldn't. The Freebirds versus the Von Erichs, 1983. Year I was born. Ooh. Six-man tag team champions. Never really hear about that anymore. The six-man tag team champion. You know, that is, they don't really do three-man tag teams. That was the thing back in the day. The best in the business. I'm just waiting for someone to go, bullshit! Bullshit! Because nowadays there'd be so many people in the crowd go, this is boring. Give us divas. Or, what? 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 Who? What? Now, see, you did tell that some of this was not planned. I mean, within the realm of the movie, where it seemed like Zac Efron did not know that the other brother was going to be the champion first. And the youngest is like, I don't want to be in wrestling. So David didn't know he was going to be champion. Zad didn't know he was put off the chopping. He's put onto the chopping block. The youngest, he's like, I don't want to be in the wrestling business. That's why a number of these people should have just left and not looked back from the wrestling business. That's what I'm talking about with the dad. Just all he cares about having the belt in the family. Doesn't care about what his sons feel, playing with their emotions, playing with their dreams. all that stuff. Yeah, I just see Zac Efron's just deflated look of he had the fight with other race. He was supposed to be up for it. Years passed by, kind of passed him by. Now it's on to David. This is where the tragedy's really going to spark up because I know soon David's not going to be fighting Ric Flair. And it's going to be the first death in the movie, that is. It is a pretty lengthy film. So, I mean, like I said, I do have a few gripes. It's weird. I say it should be a longer, like a miniseries, yet I'm complaining about the length. And I know that's counterproductive. Maybe like as a show, like it's easier to like take in. Oh, here's an hour. You can watch it all one go, or boom, you watch 2 hours, then you come back, then watch episode 3 and 4, come back, so on and so forth. Or you release one a week, you're able to stew over it for the week, then the next second episode, and so forth. So this is where he finds his brother sick. Which I don't know what the details were. I heard it was something to do with his small intestine. Something about that. But he does not get to fight Ric Flair in Japan, and that's where Terry Von Erich. And the movie's still playing. I'm just going to take these headphones off for a bit. It's still playing. I got subtitles on as well. So I didn't understand what's going on, so at least I got subtitles. I think it's just so damn hot here in Texas just to have that on for so long. I have to give my ears a break. Nice little detail. They have smears on the toilet seat, as if you didn't quite make it. Yeah, we're about halfway through the film, so it's pretty much the first half seeing how they are as brothers and how they work together. And Terry arrived a bit late into the movie, but again, that's the thing. The brothers like get the little moments, but again, because there's so many characters, and it's like, yeah, I worked with the four brothers, the mom, the dad, the Zac Efron's girlfriend, and of course the wrestling sequences. It's a lot to try to put into your first hour of a movie before it hits the fan and they start dying one after the other. It's just this downhill slope. Pretty much after this, I think it's pretty much after this scene. Nice moment between the Kevin and David brothers. Nice moment between them. Of course, medical facilities, doctors and stuff. I mean, definitely a lot more knowledgeable nowadays than they were back here in the early 80s. So maybe if David now was here nowadays and something felt funny, went to the hospital, could have been saved, perhaps, and could have been fixed up and still be with them. But then when you have parents that, again, they don't seem like bad people, but just not. I don't know how to put it. Not realizing the subtle psychological damage they're doing to their sons by being so kind of really about themselves deep down. You gotta do this because we're going to have the belt, and I've been wanting that belt for so long. It's like it always goes back to him, to the dad, to Fritz. Which I'm sure some people got mad because of how it portrays Fritz von Erich, but yeah, it's guess it depends on who you talk to. So there you go. I think pretty soon coming up is when they hear about the death of David. Which again, I can't imagine. I mean, in reality, you have five brothers. Six brothers. One died earlier on, and then throughout the years, you lose four more. Like God, this is where they find out. Yeah. Let me look up something real quick. Damn it. There we go. Five to six Von Erich's. Five to six Fritz Von Erich's sons died before him in death. Kevin Von Erich is the only remaining living son. Three of them died by ending their own lives. Cautionary tale about the pressures parents can impose on their children and the potential pitfalls of being in the business of professional wrestling. The dad created a high-stakes environment of sibling rivalry among his sons. Jad Jr., the first son, passed away March 1959 at the age of 6 while Fritz was away wrestling. He was accidentally shot when he touched an exposed electrical wire while he was playing in the Niagara Falls trailer park where they were staying. Fell to the ground unconscious and drowned when he landed in a puddle of melting snow. Then David, the third son, died in 1984 in a Tokyo hotel room, while the U.S. Embassy listed David's official cause of death as the inflammation of small intestines. Fellow wrestlers, including Ric Flair and Mick Foley, believe that David Von Erich died of a drug overdose. So, granted, I don't know if Mick Foley would know, but maybe I have to look into more details of that. Next would be Mike. April 12, 1987, 23-year-old Mike left a note for his family and then overdosed on the sleeping pill aid after drinking alcohol. His body was found in an old sleeping bag in heavy underbush near Louisville Lake in Texas. He had hurt his shoulder while wrestling in Israel. He underwent surgery to repair his shoulder, but a rare bacteria entered his body during the surgery. He suffered toxic shock syndrome with 107-degree fever, and it caused brain damage. He also suffered severe weight loss, tried to be back in the ring before recovering, and found that he was too weak to compete. The damage caused by the toxic shock left him with coordination and memory problems, which further affected his performance in the ring. So, missing his brothers, well, technically two, who have died, somewhat brain damage, memory problems, then he can't perform in the ring, so it'll be a disappointment to his dad, who's so adamant on doing it for the family. So out of 6, that's already 3 by the time you get to 1987. Chris, the guy that they did not put in the film, ended. So again, the previous one, Mike ended his life. Chris ended his life in 1991 at the age of 21. Shot himself in the head with a handgun. He was only 5'5", suffered from asthma, and had brittle bones. He could never achieve the level of wrestling success that his brothers did. He became depressed over his failure to progress. He was devastated by the death of his brother Mike and turned to drugs to help him cope. And then Kerry Von Erich, Texas Tornado, shot himself through the heart with a .44 caliber bullet in 1993. 7 years prior, he had suffered a near-fatal motorcycle accident that eventually resulted in his foot being amputated. He returned to wrestling with a prosthesis, but ended up addicted to drugs and painkillers. His marriage broke down. He felt his late brothers were waiting for him. Apparently, Fritz was the son of the town sheriff. Fritz's father arranged bare-knuckle boxing matches with other children of the town to toughen them up. Director Shawn Durkin said he did have Chris in his original script, but painfully had to cut the character because he could only fit so much in the movie. Instead, he blended elements of Chris into brother Mike, depicting Mike as a sensitive youngest brother who couldn't reach the same level of fame as the others. So yeah, that's a bit with that. That's so weird that you don't show the big wrestling match between Terry and Ric Flair. That seemed like a very important thing to show. And then, for I understand, it wasn't like immediately like the same night he got home that he lost the leg. If I understand, there was still a bit of time in between. But again, it's like we got compacted into this over 2 hour running time, so you get the general gist of it. So you don't have the family finding out about what happened to Terry, and I don't think he lost his leg at first. I think it took a while before they said yes, we have to amputate it. I believe. I could be wrong on that. But again, it's like this is tough. I mean, there's a lot of story to be told. How do you tell it in a movie that again is going to be was it 2 hours and 12 minutes, and then that's including the end credits. So a little over 2 hours. A good special effect there. The show that his leg is part of his leg is missing. Just a lot of time that we're skipping through. Just like we gotta get to the next, and we gotta get to the next, and we gotta get to the next one. I guess that's a tough thing when you're dealing with a person's life where there's so, especially not just one but multiple people. How do you get a fair shake and a fair amount of time with each one? Now the being a bit hard on Mike, and Mike is the one again within the movie. He doesn't want to be a wrestler. He doesn't want to be that guy, and tell probably the father is having an effect on Zac Efron here, and he's behaving a bit like that. Like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Come on. But yeah, Mike is just not cut out to be a wrestler. Because again, at this point of the five in the movie, again, one died. One died in the film. One lost one part of their leg. So there's two left: Zac Efron and the younger, strongier one, who again did not want to be a wrestler. So is this where he hurts his shoulder? Yep, right there. There you go. I was wondering if this is where he hurts his shoulder. See, this is where the spiral just keeps going and going and going. And that's the thing is that, okay, we have this much stuff to get to. Yeah, really go for the end goal, so to speak. And there's the toxic shock syndrome. Now, if I understand, Reds or could have heard it wrong, but Kevin, Zac Efron playing him, the real Kevin Von Erich didn't believe in a curse, but then I guess for dramatic purposes, here Kevin does believe in the curse, and that's why there's a bit where he wants to change his name, his kids' names, so that they don't get affected by the curse. I forget if that was before or after. I know at some point in the film that happens in this, so it works for the film. And again, I think Zac Efron delivers a very solid performance. There's no getting through that, man. You see Zac is getting more and more angry at his dad for pushing his brothers into this wrestling circuit. And of course, Zac is being a bit more. I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. Probably blame him because just think of all that in your head you're going through. You know, one brother died, one brother brain damage, one brother lost their foot. It's like, what the hell else could happen? You know, one drowned. I mean, one was electrocuted and drowned when they were a kid. One again lost their inflammation or again drug overdose, or whichever you want to believe, whoever you want to believe. And this bit here, just crazy. And definitely shows the brain damage involved with the younger brother here. And he's going to think of himself as a disappointment to his dad, which you built psychologically all your life that's the main goal, the main focus, and when that's taken away, then what else he got? He's not going to really be able to play music, which was his love. Like I say, it would have been nice if like maybe the other brothers are like arguing, no, might stay with music, and they're arguing with their dad, no, he wants to be with music, no, he should, no, he shouldn't. We see those kind of conversations, but again, did those conversations play in real life? But on the flip side, since this is being loose with real life of other aspects, why not just include that for the movie's sake? I don't know. Now that's MJF right there on the right that you barely saw. And this is like the only time he's in the film. Yes, MJF, who is in AEW. I think he's back. And I'm like, wait a minute, you got MJF, a guy who can talk, a guy who can wrestle, and he's in this one bit here without any dialogue? Like, we don't even know who that guy is and how he pertained to the family and how did he involve? Was he asked? How was he with Ken Von Erich? Like, none of that. If you have an eagle eye, you'll see, oh yeah, it's MJF. And I'm like, wow. They hired a guy who can talk, who can do a promo, who can wrestle, and give him, like, not much of anything to do. Or they did, and they cut it all out. Which that could very well have happened, that they shot a lot more and they cut it out. Which he did. I mean, it's hard to, with pacing. I mean, how many times have I complained, oh, this film's 3 hours long? Did it have to be 3 hours long? So, if that's the case, they cut it down. Well, there you go. Which even gets to the point of, I think it's an interesting enough story. Again, a multi episode show, I think would have sufficed better. But I do enjoy it. I think it involves the right emotions. I think there's really good lighting and filmmaking aspects. I think the acting's really good. Here we have Kevin Von Erich shying away and not really knowing what to do and sleeping at where he felt probably more safe, more at home. There's a lot to deal with. It's like, all the stuff I mentioned. And that's putting his prosthetic foot on, which, from what I understand, still hurt. Like, there's still immense pain. Probably because you have to make it so tight. And think of that nub, you're putting so much pressure on it. There's going to be pain on it. As he's showing now, so. Not a whole lot to rectify in that way. Not a whole lot, at least. He does a good job showcasing the pain, I'll say that. Oh, there's plenty to be scared of. Everybody wants me to be David, but I can't replace him. It's that pressure. And he can't even play the music. He can't even play the music that he was in love with, at least not as well as he used to. He's trying. If you want to be David, you can't replace him. Jesus, look at all his... Jesus Christ, look at all his pills. And there's the alcohol, because he's not supposed to mix alcohol and pills, so he did that, and that's for me. It seemed like it'd be nice to have, like, did Terry and him have any conversations with each other? Kevin and him, like, have more in-depth conversations with each other? Anything of the sort? Just didn't seem like it. So now Kevin and Terry are wrestling, and Terry can't deal with the pain. He's trying to tell him it's going to take time, and that's true. It is going to take a lot of time. Well, you did slap the guy, so can't be surprised you got tit for it. You want back in? Then get up. You ain't so damn stubborn about it. You better get your ass up now. Come on. And that's a nice detail. In the background, you see the flashlight where the brother's going. Sorry if I hurt you, but I'm going to a better place. And again, I think because of the way it's filmed and the way it's acted, it just even though it's altered, the story itself is such a heartbreaking story that you'd almost have to be blind and deaf to screw it up in a way that you couldn't feel anything, just because the story itself is just such a tragic thing. So Jad Jr. died before David, and now Mike. Again, they're not one-dimensional villains or anything, but you wish they were, better parents. Talk to your kids, converse with them, make them understand, all that jazz. I know apparently Kevin Von Erich himself said he didn't believe in a curse, but I'm just talking about the portrayal in the movie. I won't blame him for thinking there was one because of all the damn what happened to at this point three of his brothers. I'd be believing in a damn curse. Well, and his fourth with the lost leg. I believe in a curse as well. I really like this. It really showed the intensity Zac Efron's having and running these ropes. And just waiting for his bat to hit the camera. So I don't know if they had the camera here, but then of course they push it in so it's right by the rope. But it's far enough that he won't actually hit it. Practicing taking the fall. Make sure you're landing in the right spot or your body get used to it or however that works. And it made sense to tell it in Zac Efron's point of view because Kevin's the last remaining one. So I guess you could say like this is based on his point of view, and that's why we don't have a whole lot of deep stories on the other ones, because it's on Kevin's point of view. Which makes sense to have one focus, because if you're trying to focus on multiple people, it can feel scatterbrained. So I get why in the movie you focus more on Kevin. It will feel like there's a bit more of a focus and won't feel as if it's going 800 directions. The bad thing is you miss a lot of other little stories, details of the other people, but on the flip side, his portion becomes a stronger narrative. Oh, God. The worst part of the movie. I don't know how the hell you listen to this guy and think Ric Flair. His acting, his look, his voice, his timing, everything is off. He doesn't even know how to do woo. He's absolutely terrible. It's distracting. You might as well got Jay Lethal. He's black. He still would have. Jay Lethal is a black guy, and he still would have been a better Ric Flair than this guy. Just absolutely god awful. I remember getting confused during this whole wrestling bit because I don't want to listen to this guy, man. This is such a terrible Ric Flair. He doesn't look like him. He doesn't sound like him. He doesn't act like him. He doesn't have the mannerisms of him. He doesn't have the voice of him. The most distracting, worst part is this. Christopher Lloyd, hell, would have been a damn better Ric Flair than this. This guy couldn't make a good Doc Brown. He definitely doesn't make a good Ric Flair. God. Couldn't make a good Billy Connolly. Couldn't make whatever. Couldn't make bread. Couldn't make toast. Couldn't make peanut butter sandwich. Couldn't make a blowjob pleasurable. Couldn't make a damn thing. Jesus. That's just me. It's just crazy just how shredded Zac Efron got for this movie. Definitely a lot of work put into it. Now, I don't know if any of that was enhanced by certain ways. Like HGH, which I know Sylvester Stallone has done later in his career. But whatever it was, it worked. This is where I was get a bit confused because within the match, what's real, what's not real. Because it seemed like he lost from disqualification because he had the Iron Claw for too long. And it's like, oh my god, I should not have done that. But then Ric Flair comes in and thinks nothing of it and is like, oh yeah, we did a good job out there. So then it makes you go, well, what the hell? What was what? Was he meant to be disqualified? Something else? I don't know. I guess it. I'm probably making it more confusing than it is. Yeah, he has the Iron Claw, and I think it, yeah, it's on there for too long. I'm just. I'm sure some people would ask, well, which film do you like better, this or The Wrestler? I'd probably say The Wrestler. I'd probably say The Wrestler. That one really, with the acting, did a really good job. Mickey Rourke did. See, for Rick, he doesn't think anything of it. In fact, he thought it was so good to give you a rematch anytime, so guess he should do that more often. That's the case. And see, I'm trying to feel like what about that made him choose to go back to his family again. Was it? I'm trying to think what it was. Was it the way his father reacted? Was it the way that, you know, I lost it, I'm not fit for the ring, or, you know what, maybe this is as important as it needs to be. And then we have a big jump where now the one kid is like much older and there's another kid. Like that's a huge, huge time jump. Yeah, it's a huge time jump by quite a few years. Huh, I saw Andre the Giant on there, Kevin and Terry. Nice arm drag there. Again, do you think that would be an important moment to show Terry Von Erich getting to the WWF and all that pertained to that? How did he get to the WWF? What was the trial for the WWF? How was it beaten in the WWF? But again, I guess because it'd be so long of a movie to put all that in, they just know this from Kevin Von Erich's point of view. But it did. This feels like there's gaps in it. Again, like we don't see Terry. How did Terry get from there to WWF? What did they see in Terry? Obviously, they knew about his prosthetic foot. Did he have trials? Who did he have trial matches with? How did he get started? How did people treat him within the WWF? And again, just felt like there's a lot missing right then and there. But again, is that catch 2022? How do you put that all into a movie? But at the same time, it seems like very important stuff that you're cutting out. I know it seems like I'm complaining a lot. I do like the movie. It's just, this is stuff that other people would say. Again, the acting, the performances, the quiet moments definitely worked the film in its favor and to its benefit. So this is what, Christmas time, and this is where he gives the guy a gun. He gives his dad a gun. Again, it's like you can't just enjoy Christmas. You can't just enjoy loved ones. It's always got to be about the business and the belt and the wrestling and the belt and all that jazz. That's the thing with Fritz, at least portrayed in this movie. It's like you can't just let things go and just relax. Yeah, I think this is the gun, right? Yeah, this is the gun. It's like they want to do all stuff to look at their dad, because their dad, they look at him as a god, wanting his approval. Sit down, psychologically into it. Now he's being mad. Why don't you shoot it? Why do I have to shoot it now? Again, can't even let him relax on Christmas. It's like, when you doing your title shot? When you doing your title shot? When you doing your title shot? It's like never enough. Never good enough. It just feels sad for Zac Efron, his character, just this losing battle. Like, no matter what he does, it just can't stop it. So I'm listening to the dialogue. He's in pain all the time. They're not giving him a new contract, just doing house shows. See, Zac Efron's trying. Tell me where. I mean, he's trying to like tell me where you are, and I'll come and get you. And that's the thing. Of six of them, three. I mean, in real life, six of them, three ended their lives by themselves. You know, gun to the head or gun to the heart or whatever. You boys need to work it out between yourselves. What if? And also, for what I understand, it wasn't like Kevin arrived and then he heard the gunshot. Words for the film. In fact, I think it's his dad found him. I believe it works for the movie. Like it's very heartbreaking for the movie as a movie. But again, if you look at the reality, like I said, I think the dad found the body and not Kevin. I believe so. But it makes it seem much more heartbreaking that he heard the gunshot and then would go find the stuff. Which again works for the film. But that's the thing, like as a movie, like it would have been nice to see more of Terry, more of his troubles and his tribulations and what he was going through in the WWF, what he was going through that made him lead up to this. I don't think this fight happened in real life. It works for the film. It's a good moment for the film. But yeah, I don't think it happened in real life. So for dramatic effect, it works. And dramatic effect, it works. But yeah, I don't think any of this happened. And the reality of the situation. And that's the thing, though. Like, there's a part of me is like, isn't the story itself dramatic enough that you don't have to create these dramatic license over it? But again, it is what it is. That's the thing. If I take the reality, out of it, it works very well. Like I said, the gaps. Again, to see more of Terry, to see more of who he was as a person, his downfall, WWF high ups and downs, highs and lows. All this stuff is like more so than you didn't want to shoot my gun that was a present and one phone call. Just would have been nice to have a bit more to it. Maybe a bit more pertinent conversations earlier on between Terry and Kevin, whether before he went to trial for the Olympics or something to that effect. And this is an interesting idea to have of course, the coins for the trip down the river of Styx, wherever you want to put it, to see his other brothers. I don't. I mean, I don't know. I'd be happy with Terry, but like, thanks for leaving our brother alone, dickhead. That's what I'd be like. Thanks, ass, for leaving my brother alone. Well, he's got a family, or whatever. I was like, even in the afterlife, if you die as a kid, you don't even get to learn how to talk or whatever. Now, maybe you just say that's Zac Efron's imagination to try to help him cope with this. Good, good subtle score. So that's him selling it to Jerry Jarrett. Moving on. Which I don't blame him. I mean, I'm surprised he would want to be in wrestling at all. First, like, what do you make for dinner? As if he expected her to make dinner. Yeah, you tell the mom just completely shut down. Just completely shut down and all that. Oh, this is the moment that I'm liking the film. I have little issues. This moment is what it's building up to, and it just hit me so hard. The proper build up, the way this scene's done, the way Zach plays it. Man, it hit me. I will admit. The son seeing their dad cry, and all that. It's nice that the little kids are trying to make their dad happy. Just a very nice, touching scene. I used to be a brother. I'm not a brother anymore. We'll be your brothers. That just hits. I think when I first saw this, I got a little bit teary eyed at that. Not now, because I know it's coming, but I don't think I saw that line coming. I went. And then the song here, which. Great song. Oof. Forever, I wanna live that way. Forever, I wanna live that way. Forever. In 2009, Von Erich family was inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame. To this day, they're considered one of the greatest families in the history of wrestling. Kevin and Pam have been married for over 40 years. They bought a ranch and everyone came to live with them. All 4 children and 13 grandchildren. Wow. There you go. Zac Efron did a wonderful job. Jeremy Allen White didn't have the big body of Terry, but I thought they had the good spirit. Harris Dickinson, I thought all the acting did a great job. More Tierney. Stanley Simons as the younger brother. Hall McElhaney did a great job as the dad Fritz. Lily James as the girlfriend that became a wife. Yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of quiet moments. I'm just was listening to the dialogue again because I haven't seen this since it came out. But yeah, other than that, I have some issues, but very solid film. A heartbreaking bit of business there. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.